Hello Mynoon, this is my video response. I agree with much of what you said in your video in regards Afghanistan, but there's some key points where I diverge in my opinion. Fundamentally, the Pakistani state is a military dictatorship. It has been on and off since its inception. There's been so many different coups in Pakistan that relies on the military much in the same way that Turkey does for its stability, or its instability as the case may be. But the ISI has been the glue that has kept Pakistan together. But the problem is for the West is that the ISI is in alliance or working for the Bin Laden crime family. So therefore you're not going to be able to get them to guard the routes. The army is not going to guard the routes to NATO supplies. This has been the relationship with Pakistan and NATO that has caused the entire system of convoys going towards Afghanistan to be stopped. And it's been stopped probably at the whim of the Bin Laden crime family. They have the ability to close down the border, and they've shown how powerful they are. But your suggestion that we can get Pakistan's nukes by a more subtle method than actual invasion, I actually am persuaded by your argument there, because if we offered Pakistan party into NATO itself, then perhaps we might get them to give up their nuclear weapons. If NATO was to guard the nuclear weapons themselves, and as part of bringing Pakistan fully into the Western world, then perhaps it is possible. If Iran was more on our side, and Iran has great power over Pakistan through its energy supplies to Pakistan, we might have a greater leverage. But since Iran is an enemy of both Pakistan and the West, it's very difficult to do that, because of course Iran and Pakistan are enemies because Iran is against the Bin Laden crime family, and so is the West, but the West is against Iran. So there you've got a circular system of dog fighting dog, so to speak. Now the other problem is the opium. As I said in another video, the Russia Today said there's 15,000 tonnes worth of opium being stored by the Bin Ladens and the Taliban to be sent to Europe and flood the market in Europe with cheap opium. That's heroin basically. It will be manufactured there and processed either in Turkey or in Sicily into opium. So there you can see the link between the mafia and the Bin Laden crime family. Now this means that we must shut down the opium producing plants in Afghanistan and in Sicily and in Turkey, and it seems that more likely to me that the Bin Ladens will be producing opium themselves because they have the means to, they have the technology to. They are of course from a chemical company basis because of their oil companies. They have chemists who are able to do that. As for trusting the Pakistanis with nuclear weapons, either in the hands of NATO or with them guarding themselves, I don't agree with that at all. I believe that the Pakistanis are fundamentally untrustworthy as people at present, because they killed the ISI allowed Benazir Bhutto to be massacred by and other hundreds of innocent people by the Bin Ladens. The ISI was supposed to be protecting Benazir Bhutto, but instead they led her like a dog to her death. Now, how are we going to win in Afghanistan? Well, I believe we should win in the way that the man who would be king, Rudyard Kipling, who had experience of travelling to Afghanistan and India, did, and that's village by village, and concentrating the populations of those villages either on our side or in concentration camps. That's not extermination camps, but in concentration camps, We need to create a system where every time that there is a major battle, it's because Taliban prisoners are rebelling and then being slaughtered like the dogs that they are in concentration camps, as in Mari Sharif, where the SAS and the Northern Alliance slaughtered over 300 Taliban in that battle. That is the way that we must offer the Taliban a choice. But once they break their words, they undoubtedly will, because they have no loyalty and no honour to anyone, then we must slaughter them like the dogs they are. The Western world cannot afford another 9/11, and the Western world cannot afford another 9/11 in Europe. America has suffered enough. Europe should not have to suffer another 7/7 or another 9/11. You've given a very good analysis, and I'm perhaps getting a bit emotional, but I think my analysis is correct. You cannot trust the Pakistanis with nukes. The only way we're going to end this war is to invade Saudi Arabia, invade Yemen, kill the Bin Laden crime family, kill other feudalistic families like them, and invade Pakistan. Now, if China and India are on board with this, then Russia will fall in, and Russia is already showing a position where it's holding its cards available for people to see that it is an equal partner with NATO and an equal partner with China and India. It's trying to keep NATO supply routes open to Afghanistan. So is Kazakhstan. And your idea about partitioning the country off into the different tribal areas would meld with my strategy of winning the country over village by village. You must have a operation where you're cutting off the head of the snake, but also cutting out its heart. Otherwise, you, like a hydra, more and more heads of this terrorist beast are going to grow. And the way to cut off the heads is to get where Muslim people feel they are being abused by the West, and then settle those fears out, dampen them through an incremental strategy. But the way to cut out the heart is to kill the Bin Laden crime family themselves and other feudalistic crime families like them. We must make a parliament, just like you said, and also federalise the country. But then you're going to have the crisis of territory, because the Kazakh north of Afghanistan will automatically want to join Kazakhstan, and Tajikistan, the Tajiks will want to join Tajikistan. There's a wider war going on other than Afghanistan, and I believe that the Taliban and the Bin Ladens are trying to draw in the other countries of Central Asia in to isolate and destroy the NATO by basically disemboweling NATO away from its supply routes. But they cannot do this because they have no air superiority. NATO has air superiority, and that's something that the Bin Ladens cannot defeat in conventional terms. It may well be the case that they did so in 9/11 by you choosing an opportunist time to attack when Operation Northern Vigilance was happening in Canada, and there was only 5 jets to protect the entire United States eastern coastline. This is not likely to happen again. I hope so, anyway. I think they're trying to make a strategy where NATO is trying to fight in the south and then in the north. NATO's already said it will go north and deal with the problem in the Kunduz Valley, as well as it is finishing the problems of destroying the Taliban in Helmand. Now, to win this war, I've already said what we must do. Let's hope we do it, and let's hope that we do not have cause to make more videos on this subject, because we will soon win in Afghanistan. I hope so. Let's not ever trust Pakistan though. Thanks for listening.